Okie dokie, boys and girls, it is day 354 of bulking to 75 kilos with calisthenics only, and today we have another hamstring day. Now, it's gonna be all about discipline, and by discipline, I do not mean training as hard as possible. I do not mean training often and daily, because for me, it doesn't require discipline. I want to do this, right? And I imagine if you're watching this channel, or at least I hope so, right, that you have the same issue where discipline is not training. It's not training hard. It's not training often because you want to do this. You're excited to train. It fires you up. You're passionate. You're excited about it, right? But discipline in that case is rather going to be, making the conscious decisions for you to hit towards your goals efficiently. And of course, there has to be a balance. But, for example, for me, my main goal at the moment before the end of this bulk is going to be to beat my pistol squat 1 rep max, right? And so I have to reserve my energy for that because I'm going to attempt it on Sunday. And so I have this feeling somewhere, in my mind that today, if I just go for it, I can do 50 Nordic curls, which is another goal of mine. But, instead of just, going all out and kind of YOLOing it and, spending all of my energy on these Nordic curls, I have to hold myself back. I have to go, I have to do a bit less, because if I go for those Nordic curls and I go all the way, I'm gonna lose energy which I should spend on my 1 rep max on Sunday. So true discipline is not going as hard as possible. If I am short-sighted, right, and I don't concentrate on my goals in the future, but rather on what I want to do today, I'll be going for those 50 Nordic curls. But I have to stay disciplined, right? I have to hold myself back today. That's the only promise that I need to fulfill today in order to truly be disciplined, is to make the conscious decision to not do it and ruin my other goals. So true discipline, like training hard is the easy part, right? Discipline is in the things you don't want to do. For example, holding back a little bit, or not watching cat memes and going to bed instead, right? Do I really need those 15 minutes of cat memes at the end of the night, or should I just go to bed? Well, maybe I do, because don't underestimate the cat memes, right? If you have cat memes, my Instagram is linked in the bio. Just send them to me. But you get what I'm saying. It's like after those 15 minutes are over, I'm still on my phone, even though I shouldn't be, right? And so discipline is really the choices you don't want to make, but you know that they're good for you. So that's it for the little talk. Let's talk about training instead now. So for today, I am still gonna do Nordic curls in just a light stimulus. I'm guessing like 3 sets probably of 6 to 8 reps, which is, last time I did 3 sets of 10. So it's gonna be like 60 to 80% of what I'm capable of, or not even that, because, I think I can do those 5 sets of 10 today if I want to. But anyway, we're gonna hold back 6 to 8 reps, like I said. Instead, I'm just gonna do the form as good as possible, and then afterwards we can move on to the exercise number 2, which is gonna be quite fun as well, because last time I was weaker than expected. So that's gonna be something fun to beat. But let's head outside in the dark. I hope not in the rain, but we'll see. Alright, 6 reps. They're feeling decent, but I do feel like the 3 sets of 10 from last time, so I'm not gonna overdo it. 6 reps. All I need to do is just have a little stimulus to my legs so that they remain strong and can continue recovering for next time, when I am able to challenge the 50 reps in total after the 1 rep max for the pistol squats are done. So, today I'm just gonna do 3 sets of 6. I don't need anything more. It feels heavy enough. And basically, instead what I'm just gonna do is focus on the technique, because when it comes to these max out workouts, whether it's a 1 rep max or it's, something more endurance based, like push-ups, or, well, 5 sets of 10 for the Nordic curl. There's some endurance there as well, right? It doesn't matter, technique is gonna help you, so I'll just focus on that today and then, prepare for next time. Okay, so it will never be fun to be outside in the cold doing those Nordic curls, although it is very rewarding and, well, good stimulus has been acquired. 3 sets of 6. I ended up doing 6 reps instead of 8, just because I feel like, that's all I need to have a good stimulus and allow my body to recover further for next time. But, now it's time for something fun. Last time I tried hip extensions, and usually I do them with weight added, right? Because in my mind, I was kind of like most people when it comes to body weight. I was thinking to myself, well, the hip extensions, if I do them with just body weight, it's gonna be too light. So I always added weight. But last time, in order to allow my body to recover as well, because I've been, not deloading, I would say, but I've been, I guess it's a deload. I've been trying to kind of manage my recovery to, well, recover from the cold, but also to prepare for when I'm gonna do these big lifts in the future. So, last time, in order to do so, I did these hip extensions with body weight, and oh boy, did they burn. So today I'm gonna do the same thing. It's just body weight, so I don't think the load on the nervous system is very high, but the burn I got from this set was it was very high. So basically what I did was I put on a timer, so it was like going once every second, right? 60 beats per minute, and every beat I would go up or I would go down, so 1 rep every 2 seconds, right? And I was basically aiming for as many sets as possible, or I was aiming for 5 sets of 30 reps. And I was just gonna stop when I failed, but I failed on set number 3 at rep number 20, which I was not expecting in the slightest. So, sometimes we are weaker than expected. I guess that's a good thing, because it means you can get strong. But today, I'm just gonna do the same thing, and the good thing is, once you've tried something, right, no matter how bad you suck at it, now you have a measurement, now you have a standard that you can, aim for. You can aim, you have something to surpass, right? So, coming, in the future trainings, when I do these bodyweight hip extensions, it's not only gonna be physical strength, it's also gonna be mental strength, to aim for that goal and go beyond it. But, I'm just gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna do one leg. I'm gonna train my legs separate. So 1 set is 1 leg, and I'll do them alternating. Every 2 minutes, 1 set. The remainder of the time, which is 1 minute, right? I'm gonna rest and then basically aim for 5 sets again, but at least 3 sets of 3. I wanna see if I can get a bit more than last time. All right, 3 sets of 30 completed and then failed after rep number 24. That's a PR. That's what I'm looking for, With these bodyweight hip extensions, am I gonna do them forever? Is this the only thing I'm gonna do from now? Of course not, but in training in general, it's important that you try new things and then you strive for improvement. So for me, right, I want strong legs, and in order to achieve it, I know that I can do a couple exercises, including these hip extensions. So, when I'm going into a training, I don't have a set in stone plan, laid out months in front of me, but I do know that I have to focus on certain exercises. I try to limit my exercise selection as much as possible. So for the pistol squat or for quadriceps, I mainly do the pistol squat. For hamstrings, I mainly do the Nordic curls. For glutes, I mainly do the hip extensions, and I try to keep it at those exercises. So whether I do endurance-based stuff, can I talk? Whether I do endurance-based stuff, right, with body weight, or I add weights, it's the same hip extension. So, no matter what I try, I'm gonna improve in some area for the hip extension, and I'm gonna get stronger. And if you get stronger and you eat enough, you're gonna build muscle. You're gonna build some healthy legs, you know. And well, if you're looking to have a thigh gap, don't try this exercise, because every time I do it, and now especially with the body weight, because the reps are so high, like the muscles on the inside of your leg, basically the ones below your third leg, right? Those just get pumped so badly, it's insane. Or well, they get pumped so well. It's not a bad thing. It's a good feeling, but you can just feel the meat in between your legs, and when you're walking, it's like chafing against each other. But you know, it's a very satisfying feeling. So very happy with how today's training went. I'm gonna note that down. 30. If my pen works, 30, 30, 30, and 24. And then basically next time I know what I have to beat. So that's it for today's training, you know. And I think today I can mark off, or I can check off as I was disciplined. Well, I guess the day is not over. You know, I still have to go downstairs and have my dinner and then go to bed early. If that's possible, if I can do that, then today was a successful day, you know. Because, you know, training is, I guess it's not the easy part, but when it comes to like training and like performance in general, right? You have your train hard, study well, and eat and sleep plenty. That's 4 things, right? And oftentimes we focus on training as hard as possible, but we forget to do all of the other things. So today, I think I was disciplined in the sense that I managed to hold off on trying for 50 reps. And yeah, the result is gonna be that I am able to go to bed early, that I'm able to recover properly, and basically I'm gonna be in a state ready to attack 60 kilos on the pistol squat on Sunday. And you know, on Sunday, perhaps right now, you know, it's kind of like agonizing, I think, or like maybe frustrating that you see, because I want to go hard, right? I want to train as hard as possible, and I would like to try the 50 Nordic curls, but I think, you know, I'm gonna thank myself later on Sunday when I get those 60 kilos that I didn't do it, because it does have a like quite a large effect. You know, your hamstrings are gonna be completely destroyed if you go hard on the Nordic curl, and not only your hamstring but also your calf, which, you know, all of which are, like your entire posterior chain, it's also used in the pistol squat, you know. So yeah, today was all about discipline. Now it's just time, you know, to complete the other things, right? The other duties, eating well and sleeping well. So I'm gonna head downstairs, have some dinner, and see you tomorrow for a push day. Yes.